everybody. Welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. My name is Max, and it is Saturday, February 15th. So this weekend I am going to take probably a little break from demoing upstairs. Things are going really well. I'll show you my progress, but I only have about two of the wall. I think I have two of the walls left to take down, and then it's just scraping the bottom floor, and I'll be mostly done. I had to set aside a couple of boards that need nails out and things like that I just didn't want to do earlier, but it's going really well. And this weekend I really need to clean up some things. There's been some projects that I need to do just to kind of make some of the animal things a little bit more user-friendly down here. So I'm going to be doing those this weekend. So shifting gears a little bit, I probably will start building the shelves in the basement, my canning shelves in the basement, probably in March. It's going to be March. But before I do that, I'll be doing a video about kind of the layout that I want to do in the basement, as well as some of the ideas that Julia and I have about how we want the shelves to be built. In the meantime, though, I would really appreciate your guys' feedback about what you like for if you've got canning shelves or if you have storage shelves for food and things, what you like about your shelves and what you would change about your shelves. I've been trying to go online and find other people's ideas about what works best for them. And so I have a couple of ideas kind of in my mind, and I've saved some posts and videos and things online. But I'm excited to actually go into the basement and measure the space and see what the shelves will look like and kind of lay out. I'm a very visual person, so I like to tape the ground and measure out where the shelves will actually be. So probably get started on that in early March, and then I'm hoping to start building shelves either mid-March or late March, depending on what is happening here. It's still snowing outside, and it's been cold. We're supposed to be in the negative degrees next week, so I'm not really doing anything outside at this point. So it's mostly just about what the animals are doing. But I feel like right now we're kind of in this period where it's been quiet, and I know that it's been nice to have it quiet because I know things are going to start happening for the farm in March, because it'll be goat kidding, and we have Ray, our Jersey cow, due March 16th. So and she's actually due on the same day as our first goat is due. So we're gonna have a calf, we're gonna have a cow in milk, first time freshener, so that will be interesting. I'm hoping she's not going to be super fussy on the milk stand. So we'll have Ray calving in March, we'll have a bottle calf in March. I'm gonna have to figure out probably dehorning a calf in March. We'll have goat kids due, so I'll be milking goats. We'll have goat kids on the bottle. It will just be a lot. Pigs go to the butcher at the end of March. So there's just going to be a lot going on, and so I'm trying to take advantage of this kind of downtime to prepare myself for the shit show that will be happening in March. So yes, I'm trying to get things set up a little bit so that things will be just easier for me doing chores and things. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, and I'm going to take you guys along with me. Okay, so the first project that I need to do is I have a buckling over here in the aisleway, and that's been going good. It's a big space for him. It's just kind of long and narrow. Let me back up so you can see. But the problem is I have this gate here at the beginning, but this door I use to go feed the horses. And so I want to move this gate back behind the door so that he's not in my face every time I try to get through there. So I need to move the gate, but the other part of it is I have the pigs here, and this gate, which is essentially a wall for them, I have latched at the bottom of the buckling's gate. So I need to take the gate down, put a new bolt or something to secure the pig's gate to it so they can't push it out. So on the top, I have it secured through this beam. So that works pretty well, but the bottom has the concrete wall that goes probably 2 feet high. So I've got it attached to the gate instead. But I think what I'll do is once I take the gate off, I'll put a different, I'll probably end up putting like some sort of handle on the wood that I can loop the chain through so that the pigs can't pop it out. Because they are getting pretty big and pretty strong. So yeah, so I need that secured better. But I am hoping that once I move this gate back, then it will just be nicer for me to come through this door. I won't have to, because he always gets so excited when I come through. He likes to push himself, you know, through the gate. So I think moving the gate back, you know, it's really only about 5 feet. He'll still have plenty of space back there. And honestly, he never really utilizes the back of his aisle anyway, because he likes to sit here at the front. So it will just be nice to move him back. So that's the first project that I'm going to be working on. And then I need to clean up the boy goats area back here. So I'm going to be working on this gate first. So I need to go find the right latch, I think, that I'll be securing their area to. So the pigs are doing really good. I think I might actually start cutting their feed back a little bit. I feel like they're, you know, they're pigs, but I feel like they're getting a little fat. And, you know, we've raised Kune Kunes in the past, so they're definitely a lard breed. And I feel like we had a couple rounds of our Kune Kune pigs that we had got them too fat too quick. So we ended up with a lot of lard and not as much meat as we could have. So I feel like it's just kind of trying to find the right balance of meat versus fat on the pigs. And I feel like when I look at them now, I feel like their stomachs especially are looking a little floppy. And so I think that's maybe I'm feeding them a little bit too much. So they're putting on weight too quick. Right now they're only getting 2 scoops per pig per day and kitchen scraps, and they also get hay. So I think I'm going to cut them back to either a scoop and a half in the morning and in the evening, or maybe 1 scoop each per feeding per day, because they're still getting a lot of hay and they're getting a lot of kitchen scraps. So I think I can cut back on the grain. Okay, so everything is going along really well. I'm almost about halfway done moving this gate. So I'm working on putting in these gate hinges. And I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, but if, say, like what I'm doing right now is I've got my 1/2-inch drill bit, which is too small for drilling into the wood where I'm going to put this. And so what I end up having to do is then widen it with, let me see if I can even see. This is an 11/16. So, which is too big, just slightly too big. And I don't really have anything great in between, and I don't really want to go buy anything. So what I do is, for the extra little bit of, like making it so that this is more secured when I do put it in, because now my hole that I'm going to be putting in is like slightly too big, is I put these green castrating rings on it from when we banned our goats, and it works great. So I usually just put 3 on. I find if I used to do like 5 or 6, and I found that that was just too much. So I usually just do 3, 1 at the front, you know, 1 at the end and 1 in the middle. And that makes it so it's just a tiny little bit wider, and it's like a perfect fit for this to go in. So, and I like doing that on areas where I don't need it like super secure. It's going to be very secure. And I would probably put the calf in this and it would be fine. The goats are fine. I probably wouldn't trust this if I had pigs behind it, or like a bull or something. I would do this for the horses. My horses will stay in even if the fence is down. So, this is a great option. And so it's a little bit more snug. I don't have to worry about it, like the gate falling down all the time. So this will work great. I didn't have to go buy a new drill bit. So I'm going to keep going on this, but I just wanted to let you guys know, well, I wanted to let you guys in on this little secret that I've been doing, and it works great. And you know, these castrating rings come in bags like, I think it's like 500 or 100, 500. It's a lot. We, you know, last year we had 15 goats born. We've used these rings on one bull calf. And I have a bag of probably like 100 sitting there that I will probably never use. So it's not like these are like in, you know, high demand for us. We're not a super big farm, relatively speaking, you know. So it's nice to be able to use these when I have them and need them for, you know, gates. Okay, so I've got the new gate on. That was pretty easy to do. It didn't take me that long. So now I can get through the door without him running at me. And then I've got the pig's gate secured. What I did was I secured it in 2 new spots. So I drilled a hole in this middle beam, and I put like these O brackets, and then I secured it right to the cattle panel. And then I put just a door handle on this one and looped it with the chain on the bottom. So it's very secure now. It's secured in 3 spots. So it's secured on the bottom, the middle, and then the top. So feeling really good about that. So what I'm gonna do now is I need to do some cobweb duty in the goats area. It's looking pretty bad again. And then I had bedding in this walkway where I had the buckling before the door. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoop this out so it'll be the concrete again and get this cleaned up. And the pigs did some pretty good rooting in their hallway this week, so I need to just sweep that up, get things kind of cleaned up again. You know, every few weeks I kind of have to do this where it's just, you got to do the housekeeping stuff. And so it's just kind of time to get caught back up. So I'm going to get to work on doing some of that. Okay, so it is the next day, and what I'm going to be working on now is cutting up more boards for the horse wall that I was working on. So I didn't have enough boards to finish it when I started it, but now that I've taken most of this down, I was able to find some boards. So I've got them stacked up right here, and I'm going to cut these to size. I need 66 inches, and I need 120 inches worth of boards. So I'm going to start with this stack here and see if that's enough. And if not, I've got a bunch more piled up behind me over there. So I've got all those boards back there that I can go through. I saved those for last though because I don't want to use them if I don't have to. They're nicer boards and I don't want to waste them on the horse project if I don't need to. So I'm really hoping that what I laid out is going to be enough, but if not, I'll just start pulling out of there. I'm excited to get this done. I might not put them up today because it is raining. It's trying to rain. It's trying to snow. It can't quite decide. we're like right at the cusp of freezing. So, which is interesting because we had a lot of melting happen last night, which means that if we continue to have it melt today and we're supposed to be cold and clear next week, it's going to just turn into a sheet of ice again, which it did this like 2 weeks ago. And so we've just had this big sheet of ice and then it's just snowing on top. So it's not enough to snow on top though, to make it so you don't slip, because you're just getting the ice and then you fall. So we've been kind of walking around like penguins out there because you can't trust the snow because there's ice under it. So I'm curious to see what this weather does, but I imagine we'll end up with a sheet of ice again next week. But in the 10-day forecast, the last 2 days of that are supposed to be 36 and 38 as of right now. So I'm curious to see how much longer we have the snow. It's been interesting to compare last year versus this year, because last February I was out in the field making an arena for me to ride Jetta out because it was so nice out. I was like, well, I'll just go ride him. But this year, you know, there's like 6 inches of snow still out in the fields. So it's been a lot different this year. I have, you know, been talking to local people who are from this area, and they're like, this is the more of the winter that they remember growing up, where it was colder longer. They said last winter wasn't hardly anything at all. So it was nice for us because we were new here, but I think from what I've heard, this is more what we should be expecting. And it hasn't been honestly that bad. Like, it's been cold, but it hasn't been unmanageable. The winds haven't been high for a really long time. There hasn't been feet of snow. You know, I think at most we've had what we have now. And in some places it's like 12 inches, but you know, most of the areas are like 4 or 5 inches. So not too bad. Anyway, so I'm gonna get going on this. I want to get this done today. I want to get the boards cut today. I need to cut another board for a shelf inside the house that I'm making, and I need to get that sanded. I'll at least put these boards outside where I want them. I might not hang them up until tomorrow because we're not supposed to have any snow or rain tomorrow. And then I think I'll probably just do some more cleaning up today. Last night I was able to do some cobweb duty in the poultry area, and I got about half of that done, so I need to finish that. And I might just throw down a bunch of hay downstairs today just to do it, so then I can kind of sweep up here again and put a lot of the like the chaff hay now into the poultry area. I think I might do that. But yeah, just still working on getting things cleaned up. Honestly, what I need to do next after I finish this, taking all this down, and then I'll move the boards to the basement in March, and I'll probably work on those shelves in the evenings because it's lit down there, so I don't have to do that necessarily in the daytime. It might be time for me to start, let me just show you. I know you guys have seen it before, but my wood piles. So I think it's going to be time to start working on consolidating my wood piles, as much as I like having the scraps around. But it is quite a bit. I've got that gigantic pile right there. I've got a pile right there. I've got a pile under there. And I have some over there. It's just a lot of wood. So I think I need to start being realistic with myself about what I'm keeping, because this area is going to become a poultry coop this spring. I mean, that's going to have to happen in maybe March, maybe April, but I got to get the chickens out of where they are now before it gets too hot. So I think a lot of that wood needs to come out of that area. And I finally realized just the other day that you can see the light coming in over there. There are a lot of gaps in the boards because they've dried over time. I might take some of those scraps. I don't know, I'm still a little undecided because I don't know how it's going to look. I am thinking of using some of my scrap wood to board up the walls from the inside in the chicken coop, this future chicken coop space, so that the wind's not just blowing through, and it'll keep it a bit warmer in there in the winter. So I'm a little undecided yet if I really want to do that, how good it will look. I don't want it to look thrown together. I'd rather have something that looks nice for the long term than just throwing stuff up just because it's quick. So I just need to go through my scrap wood piles and see. I will keep some wood. Don't get me wrong. I'll still keep some scrap. It's nice to have wood around when you need it for little projects and things. But I also don't want to just be hoarding piles of wood just because I think I'll use it someday and I just never will. I have this idea in my mind that at some point I'll make birdhouses. I've always wanted to do that. I enjoy bird watching, and so it would be nice to have some, especially more birdhouses around the fields and things. I would love to do like owl boxes, raptor boxes, things like that. So I do want to save a pile of wood for making those in the future, but I don't need all of what I have. And I need to be dedicating this much space to just scrap wood. So that needs to be consolidated. But once I get, and all of this wood here, this is all for me taking apart the grain cages. So once I get what I need done for the horse wall and all the wood taken out of here that I need for the shelves, then it's going to be time to go through the rest of the wood that's just piled upstairs here and figure out what to do with it. So I'm going to get started on cutting up these boards, and I imagine I'll have to lay them out and measure to see how much more I need, and then I'll start deciding if I actually do need to cut any of these up. So here we go. You can see Winifred behind me. They're so funny. They hate being out in the snow, so they spend a lot of time up here when it's snowy out, and they run around, and sometimes there will be little like junco birds that come up here. Especially, it's always the juncos. Like, I never see a chickadee up here. I never really see anything else. One time I saw a hawk up here, and of course it was when I didn't have my camera, but it was flying back and forth, and then it eventually flew out of the door. Hi, Anslo. But they love to hunt the birds that come up here. Do you want to say hi? Aren't you so handsome? But I don't see any up here right now, so they'll probably just play today. Here you go. Hey, yeah, he's so cute. What are you doing? Oh, hi.